Hi, I'm Mike McGuire. Welcome to the Celebrate Wrestling podcast feed. If it's your first time here, you picked a good reason to come. A unique, awesome conversation with EC3. And you might have a preconceived notion about this guy based on what you've heard or seen on the internet and things like that. We talk about that in great detail. And I think that if you're like me and you go along with this conversation and you learn about this guy, you realize he is wired a little differently. But at the same time, he's also got a really unique perspective and a real passion for pro wrestling, even to this day. He's seen goods, he's seen bads. A reminder, all our podcasts are always free, and we post them on the Celebrate Wrestling podcast feed. But if you'd like to support with a little donation, there's a PayPal on the Celebrate Wrestling website, CelebrateWrestling.com, and also invite you to join the conversation in our Celebrate Wrestling Facebook page and Instagram. Again, any support you can give to us with the shows is appreciated, but not necessary. So without further ado,
ladies and gentlemen, EC3.
So I'm only going to bring it up once because it's already come up in conversation, but I find it equally fascinating because we have two things in common. We have the same first government names, and we also both went to schools called Immaculate Conception at one point in our life. Where was yours?
Willoughby, Ohio, outside of Cleveland, Ohio. So ICS. Did you call it ICS?
Yep. Even had a patch that said that.
We were the Raiders. What was your team?
We were teamless elementary school. We had a church across the street from us, though.
Yeah, and I asked you if you were an altar boy, and you said no, and I was. And then usually I follow that with, and not once molested. And I'm like, what was the deal? Well, besides the fact our church was pretty clean, and they believe like the Word of God, and the good stuff for the most part. But yeah, unmolested altar boy, named Michael. You prefer Mike, but I prefer Michael as my Christian or government.
Yeah.
That's the only inverse of this.
Which is, again, it's funny because to me, whenever I hear the name Michael, it takes me back to just not great memories. And you said the same thing for you with Mike.
I wouldn't say terrible memories, but not like as proficiently excellent as Michael. Michael has gravitas, it carries weight. Actually, last night, 2 nights ago, we were pulling into Cody's house.
Cody Mack?
Yeah, Cody Mack's house. He was letting me stay over, and his mom was up. It was about 4 a.m, and she was whipping up coffee, and she was just a bundle of energy right out of the gate. She goes, "What's your name?" And I say, "I'm Michael." And she goes, "Oh, you don't like Mike?" I go, "No, Michael's a saint. Mike is, a plumber, and though I like plumbers."
Well, you can say what you said. Mike is a dork that went to ICS school.
Mike is a huge dork who does silly podcasting. Now, but she was like, "Oh," and then she really liked me right off the jump. Michael Saint. Oh, this kid, he's just a genuine guy. Come to find out, later that night, when I was wrestling, EC3, the top 1% came out as a protagonist in the match, babyface. She thought I was the worst person ever, and she did not know it was me that stayed at her house.
Wow.
And after the match, I was watching Cody and Danny have the big cage match, and it was really good. And I'm like, this is kind of his hometown, so I go over to his mom, "Man, that's really impressive. Your son did so well. Are you happy?" And I sat next to her, and she's like, "Ah!" And I'm like, "What? It's me, Michael." She's like, "No, you're the top 1%. You're evil." I went, "What? No, miss. I'm Michael from your basement who you offered coffee to at 4 a.m. And she's like, "You know something?" I'm like, "Please tell me." They, to everybody else on the roster, they all look real. But you don't look real. And then now I'm kind of working it. And I was like, because I'm not. Because I'm a demigod and you have a reverence for me.
Lord.
I got work the gimmick, so yeah.
Other memories formed at 4 o'clock in the morning that were followed up by a live appearance at the wrestling show.
It's so thick.
Is that how that's supposed to look?
No, but we're going to have it anyways. I whipped up a late night coffee for the flavor because I want to try my new stevia.
Is it a mushroom coffee you were telling me?
No, I do have mushroom coffee, but I don't want to dig it out of the bag.
Oh, okay.
So we're good. We're good. Let's
So
try
this
it.
is just regular Keurig coffee. Thoughts?
Stevia makes it good.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
I hate the necklace. What's up? Is that a turtle?
Yes.
Is it made of something?
It is made of some sort of stone. So, story about this quickly is that I was raised by my grandma, who adopted me, and she passed away. So, I've always had turtles show up around things in my family and life and everything else. I actually drove across country on that same road trip I told you about that I was in Chicago for the Cody story. And I stopped in Kalamazoo, Michigan for no reason other than the fact that I was near Kalamazoo, Michigan, and I wanted to go in. And I found like this weird...
Is it because of RVD or just because of the name Kalamazoo? No, he's not. He's from Battle Creek.
Yeah, he's from Battle Creek, yeah.
Somebody was from Kalamazoo.
Well, you're thinking of Chic.
Yes.
Because you used to yell out, Kalamazoo, right? So, anyway, I go walking down this street, and it's one of those, like, shop districts, right? And there's a store called La Terrapin, which is the turtle in French. And I was like, there's nothing in there I would ever buy. I'm not a necklace guy. I'm not a accoutrement guy at all, usually.
Accoutrement.
Yeah, like the little like accessories, and I'm not one of those guys at all. But sure enough, I see this one little turtle necklace in Kalamazoo, Michigan, from a store called The Turtle, and I just put my mom on the ground, and I was like, somehow this is all tied together. So this reminds me of her. So that's why it's there. So.
It's awesome.
Thank you.
Je parle pas français?
No, unfortunately. That terrapin is all I know.
Okay.
That and bonjour, which is about as far as my French lineage goes.
Au revoir. I know this. Tu es fou, you are a fool.
Oh.
I used that in France once.
Nice.
Yes.
That's good heat.
Yeah.
If you are just tuning in, we are talking to EC3, who was on the CWE tour across Canada here. And it's funny because we met and for some reason just hit it off right away, it seems. Like, I never know what to expect whenever a name comes through. Like most of the guys I know and I've known for years, but I have a pretty good record of getting to know people that come in as visitors on the tour. But I don't know. It just seemed to hit right away. It was just funny.
It was funny because you were funny, being unfunny. Okay. No, but you were funny. And the unfunny, you were not unfunny. You were very funny. And the dry, sarcastic wit, I knew you were a winner off the jump. So usually I have a fairly decent radar of like if somebody's going to be worth a chat and worth a deep dive or avoid at all costs. And one thing I don't like to do, I hate small talk. So I'm either all in to converse and get to know you, or I am keeping my distance. I ain't got time for that shit.
Well, and I appreciate that too, because I like I said, I told you I talked about this a couple weeks ago on this very show, how if I don't feel a vibe with someone's come through, I'm not going to pester them for an interview. I'm not going to pester. But you got to the point of like, hey, when are we doing this? When can we do this? And I was like, okay, yeah, we got something here. So it's one of those situations where I don't even feel like doing much of a wrestling interview because I want to, like you said, just talk about like life in general. But of course, the people listening are going to have wrestling questions, so we're going to have to go there.
They're going to hate the deep dive in our psyches, and the real purpose of our being. And
to be fair, I've had Jimmy Jacobs on the show, though, and we did a lot of that.
All right. So wrestling is life, and life is wrestling. So I think they always kind of tie together. But the genuine conversation we can have will be enjoyed by all who maybe enjoy you and might enjoy me. Before you met me, did you have like a preconceived notion? Or did you have like, I wonder what this dude's going to be like?
Yeah, you know what's funny? That's usually what it is. I like to come in complete blank slate because, you know, and Danny's not afraid to book people who have different backgrounds coming in, whether it's positive, whether it's negative, whether it's neither, right? Most of the people that all of the people I've met on these CWE tours have always been legitimate for some reason or another. And I always find that once you get talking past the, hey, I'm a big fan sort of level, and if you can actually converse, you realize that, you know, like everybody else, wrestlers are just trying to make the grind and do what they love, right? So,
yeah. Well, I love the aspect of now connecting with people too. So more so than I don't like falling down. It hurts. I'll do it, and I'll do it well. But connection, I think, it's like doing the autograph signing today. Like, I try to get to know the people or, like, get something out of them. What I've noticed, I don't know how you see this, but unconfident children make me sad. And I try to, like, bring them up and have, like, tell me about yourself. What do you like? And they're all just kind of like, not all, but the ones that are kind of distant and afraid to talk, I want to, like, get something out of them. It's like 70% of the time I do, but I hope through that, like, they open themselves up a little more.
I think this is where we go into the deep psyche part of the conversation, because I have had this conversation with people, and my lady friend, as she's known on the show here, she actually works in childcare, and we talk about this a lot, how people don't ask kids questions anymore.
Yes.
Right. And it goes down to the base root of communication, like you were talking about. And that's why, even when I do this show, you know, I like to actually talk about more than just so your favorite match was when you did this, or, you know, and so if you get past that stuff and you actually find a way to connect to somebody, the fact that we went to the identical school names just kills me. Like, I'm laughing hysterically at that, because I just scanned the prints of my old ICS photos, and I remember that feeling, and I'm sure you have the same one, right? Where it's like,
we wouldn't have known either if I didn't randomly say it.
Yeah.
Like, why did I say it? Because we were talking about Mike.
Because I asked about, what do I call you? I said, you know, when we're not working, I'm like, what do you want me to call you? And
Mike was the kid caught picking his nose at Immaculate Conception.
Exactly.
That's what I said.
And then I looked at you
I was.
like, what? I went to Immaculate Conception.
Yeah, so you picked your nose and you got caught.
I never got caught. I'm way smoother.
This one time at Immaculate Conception, I think it was 8th grade. Ironically, this has a wrestling context, because the third I stole from this kid named Jimmy Powell III. And he came into school late, and he was just like the Class A dork. I mean, he was like, there are no redeeming qualities of like, he's kind of cool. Like, it was kind of sad, and he was a nose picker too. And he always would sit on his seat, like, knees bent and butt on knees, twisted. And I couldn't concentrate. It would drive me crazy. And, like, sometimes I'd, like, take my pen and I'd tap him. I'm like, stop it. I can't. Stop
Just
it.
the way he was sitting.
Yes. Like Jimmy Powell III. And I didn't understand why he was the third, because my father's name is Michael, but we have different middle names. Okay. And I'm not a junior. And I didn't. So then it came together. Oh, the third has the middle name and the last name. All right, whatever. But, like, man, did Jimmy Paul III annoy me? So
did he have a monocle?
He did not.
Okay.
He had thick glasses, and I'm kind of a prick for even, like, calling him a dork back then and calling him a dork now. I wonder what he's doing. I hope he's doing well, and he's, like, super smart, super successful, some, like, AI tech giant. But he's probably a murderer, anyways. So. Because of the damn kid that kept, like, wouldn't let him sit the way he wanted to sit. You know, it was just the start of something awful.
We have a listener who goes by you actually might see him on the tour in Manitoba. We call him Over-Analytical Bob. And Bob will research everything. So, Bob, you're on a mission. Jimmy Powell III from Ohio. We need to know if he's an AI tech giant or a serial killer, or both.
Or both.
Because really, the options are open.
Yeah, one, we can just assume if he's a tech giant that perhaps he's got some weird fetishes. But, so Jimmy Paul III, we're in church, and wooden pews, and we're sitting there, I think it was after communion, and I just, like, cut this fart that was rung the bells, like, and the butt was the crack, just enough wind resistance against the wood, echo, like, it was so loud. And
a masterpiece, yeah.
Really was. And as it was coming, I'm like, shock, embarrassment, no. And I look to my left, and I go, Jimmy, gross! And everyone went, Jimmy, oh!
You just buried him for the rest of his life. And that's why the killing began.
That's why. I'm a terrible man. I repent.
Okay, let's appease some wrestling questions here. First one I'm going to ask is, obviously you're on the road with CWE as we're doing this, but you've made a resurgence, a reappearance on TNA. There's some friction right now between you and another TNA original and Eric Young. A little bit of a neck and chair action happened.
Yeah, I really liked the visual of like the chair on me swinging. I thought that was interesting. I'm just trying to like church things up. That's, everything's been done. So like, what can we do differently? Oh, just brawl on the outside a little bit. Well, what if the chairs are on my neck and I'm just swinging wildly? Three Stooges, but it's kind of serious. But yeah, as the time of recording this, I think we had a match. It was no disqualification. Should I give spoilers? I mean,
well, yeah, this will air Sunday, so.
All right, well, but it's like, what can we do different in this? Everyone has no DQ. What does Cornette call lazy booking?
Yeah.
But it wasn't lazy. But one thing is like, what can we do differently? And like, he's the world-class maniac, and he's being portrayed as a psycho. What would a psycho do if it were real? Which is like one of my if it were real, what would happen? Mm-hmm. So he like kicked me in the balls 7 times. Like, whatever are they familiar with wrestling term? No, cut off.
Yeah.
Cut off. Boom, it hits me. And he just like opens up. And you know how like The Rock back in the day would do the old like punch into the midsection, or the guy stomps a Brett, stomping him in the gut. He just opens my legs and just starts wailing on my man. And there's an audio bit just unloading stomps of fury into my pecker. And it's just like, that was cool. And if I'm not, if I'm going to go, lose, I'm just like, something drastic better happen because I'm EC3. Like, I ain't doing no fucking job. So, crushes my balls, just beats them to smithereens. Towards the finish, like, I'm going to give him the old 1%er off the apron through the table. No, he's going to kick me in the balls 3 more times and then pile drive me off the apron through the table, then onto a chair in the ring. So I have a broken neck.
It sounds like a comedic level of ball kicking.
Well, it was done with, but not like ha-ha.
I think it's actually aired now. I think that is actually aired. Yeah,
I wonder if
because I saw the attack.
I don't usually look, but let's just take a look at Twitter mentions.
Oh, we're watching back right now. Okay.
I thought this guy thought it would revitalize my career, but it's not hitting. Maybe it's the booking. Oh, totally.
Is this just your mentions?
Yeah, I rarely look at them.
Are people nice to you? Or no, not at all.
Whatever.
Here, read off a couple. What do you got?
This is a reply to somebody who said, somebody probably called me MJF Light, where this guy says, hard to be MJF Light when he was the original OG doing that shtick when MJF was 18 years old.
That's
for God's sake. The guy must have saw me hitting the balls a bunch of times.
Do you pay that much attention to your social?
No. Nah. Blue light hurts my eyes, and I don't like looking. And I think the opinions that matter first off are you and your partner, the person you created with, pleased with, the work you've done, are the people that put it together, pleased with it. Mm-hmm. Reactions within the context of audience and noise. Is the story told, and is the business done? Those are the concerns I have. And to both.
When did that switch flip for you then? Because I'm one of these sycophants that go back and remember the whole NXT days, the original ones, where everybody that was there, especially in your class of NXT, especially, just seemed to just be trying everything to go along with this weird system of trying to get noticed as a wrestler with bizarre game shows and it was almost like a talent contest, but not really.
We're talking about that one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about the good NXT.
Okay, yeah.
I'm talking about the original. I'm talking about Tulsa, Oklahoma, Steve Blackman, Chicks in America, NXT.
Yeah, and those were, honestly, if you look at who was on that show, myself, Dango, Brodus, a.k.a. Tyrus, Jacob Novak, Saxton, and Connor, Big Connor. No wrestler will ever have to undergo something so absurd or be tested in a fire like that, like a major, huge promotion company, television in a sense, the internet before it's really the internet, off the cuff wackiness written by people that do not give a shit what happens until you make that shit that's happening kind of get over and get noticed, and then they come in and get mad at you for it. So like with the Tulsa, Oklahoma and the Steve Blackman.
Still one of my favorite bits ever.
Yeah.
Just
Do you know the reality behind that was, oh, we're doing this dumb thing, know your pro. Daniel Bryan and I go up to DB or BD or DB, and I'm like, what if I already just, whatever the question is, here are the answers. So, well, what are you thinking? And I'm like, well, we're doing the cheap pop thing, so the last one should be Tulsa, Oklahoma. We made the Steve Blackman joke last week, so maybe the first one's like, whatever the question is, I'll frame it, and I'll say Steve Blackman, and you'll have it written down. It's Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Chicks in America with the three things we were doing.
For those that don't know this bit, I'm going to play a clip now of it, but basically it was, again, know your pro, and you as Derek Bateman were being asked questions, and it's like a weird, almost like newlywed game, right, where your pro, Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan, had to write the answer. You had to have the answer, and if you guys matched, you got points. So the first question, I don't even remember what the first question was, but you worked it into
Steve Blackman, I believe.
No, the first one was Tulsa, Oklahoma. I did watch this yesterday just to refresh all this.
I led off with the cheap pop.
You led off with the cheap pop, yeah, because it was the great people of Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Derek Bateman, your pro is the United States champion Daniel Bryan. What did Daniel think when he first saw you?
I think Daniel thought, the great city of Tulsa, Oklahoma.
You've got to be kidding me. That is correct. Derek Bateman, what did Daniel Bryan say that you would have a future as outside of sports entertainment?
I think Daniel Bryan would want me to be the next Steve Blackman.
Isn't that still within sports?
Steve Blackman's not even a real person. You can't answer that. Come on. Rick.
Does anyone else really? What is the biggest area of improvement for your rookie if they want to become the WWE's next breakout star? Derek Bateman, step forward. If you get this right, I'm going to accuse you of cheating.
There's no hope.
Okay. What does Daniel think you can improve on the most?
Well, two of my favorite things, actually, Chicks and America.
So you can improve on Chicks in America. Derek Bateman, under some controversy, has earned 4 more immunity points.
But it's funny, too, because I think by the second one, like Stryker and Dango started like, you asshole.
Yeah, the gig was up automatically.
And then by the third one, they're like, this is ridiculous. But we made entertaining television, and then coming back, they were mad.
Yeah.
And then the next week, forgotten segment, they had to shoot a pre-tape to like save face, where we did this thing where I snuck into Matt Stryker's locker room in a mask, and they had security footage, and I stole the answers or something, just because they were mad that we took the concept of them ruining our lives on television and just said, hold my beer. Let me ruin it.
If we're going to do this, let's do it right.
Right. So, yeah, good times.
You know, it's a great discussion we've been having outside of wrestling is we were talking about, oddly enough, you've given me an opportunity to show off my running and footwear knowledge a bit here.
Yes.
And we've been talking a lot about a question that actually a lot of people have, and I said I might be talking to you, I don't know, but I actually got a few people actually message in saying, what's his workout like? What's his diet like? I did get to see kind of your breakfast and stuff this morning, where you bring a lot of stuff with you, and you got a lot of stuff on the go. But, I mean, how is it for you on a tour like this? Because these Danny tours, we've talked about these CW tours numerous times on this show, it's a grind. It's date. Sometimes there's a gym, sometimes there isn't. But how are you coping with a run like this and maintaining yourself?
I am so freaking, I need to relax, but neurotic about the nutrition aspect of like getting the meals in at proper times and timing around the workout and my workouts. I have like three different diet days. So call it a carb cycle. If I'm not lifting weights, I will have a pretty low carb or no carb day, and I use ketosis to my benefit and load up on healthy fats and proteins. If I'm having a normal training day, I add carbs mostly in the pre and the post-workout window and a couple of the other meals in the last meal, as you'll see later because you're staying in my room. I'll have like a high-fat meal, and then on a leg day or maybe on a very extreme back day where a lot's gotten done, I'll do a high-carb day where usually in one of those meals, probably the last one, I'll sneak in my, quote, refeed, a.k.a. what you want maybe call a cheat meal. So the Danny tour is pretty ridiculous because I don't have the ways and means of homes and kitchens to cook in. But the first day I was here, I stayed with Sammy Peppers. Do you know Sammy?
I know
Peppers?
Sammy, yep.
Peppers has a full, he had a kitchen, and he's like, hey, I'm going to Costco. Do you want anything? I'm like, yeah, that's great. I can cook up some food, get on the road, and then as this progresses, figure out how I'm going to stay nuanced and dialed in. So I'm like, yeah, give me some ground turkey, ground beef, eggs, blah, blah. He spent like $200 and brought home so much food that I'm like, and I hate wasting. So I've cooked an abhorrent amount of eggs and meat where I'm now traveling with it, and it's kind of close to like, am I poisoning myself? I don't know yet.
It is in the fridge now, right?
It is.
Okay, good.
But it goes town to town.
Yeah.
And then this is Canada. It's first world as hell. North America.
Yeah.
But for some reason I thought, I better bring a bunch of stuff, a bunch of my dry food. So if I get my carbohydrates clean, rice, potatoes, cream of rice, oatmeal, I'll be good filtering in the proteins later. But I brought so much stuff. And I went to TJ Maxx before I went, and they had all these rice crackers. Let me get those. Ooh, a big bag of coconut. So I brought way too much stuff. Anyway, so I'm traveling with too much shit, bunch of meats, and I'll make the meals in the room the day before. So it's been, so far, so good where I have not broken the diet. Made sure training-wise everything was nuanced, and I get my post-workout, and I was like, yeah, whatever. But it takes a lot of work, and it's mentally draining, too. It's, exhausting.
You sound like a Canadian, because I live near the border. I live south of here, and so you sound like a Canadian that runs over, gets a bunch of groceries from the U.S., then hops back across the border with them.
Are they better priced?
They used to be when the dollar was better,
Okay.
but, now it's not so great. But
so now I'm trying to strategize.
now you just sound like a food importer.
Import-export. Vandalay Industries.
EC3's all-American goods. We could start up put that next to the merch table.
That'd be not bad. But I got my little food scale, so I'm like, I could be less extreme, but then I wouldn't be me. So as this food is spoiling, I'm going to have to reimagine the strategy. But there's Walmarts, there's Costco's, there's grocery stores. I think what I'll do going forward is prepare for 3 to 4 days at a time. 3 workout days, 1 off day. Off days aren't as hard because they're protein and fat based. So if I got to get a Baconator with no bun, no worries.
Do you do the lettuce wrap?
Oh yeah, lettuce wrap.
Yeah.
Good. But and then training wise, I don't train how I used to in the powerlifting and, the extreme strength aspect. But I'm working a lot with functional patterns, and we were talking about gait because of walking hurts and foot pain. And so I'd say it's about 70% aesthetic, 30% function and mobility. And then if I keep my steps in and cardio high, I mean, I'm jacked. I can lay off.
Yeah.
I really can. And I'm going to take a deload probably towards the end of this trip, which is a week, I don't want to say off, but only healthy movement.
There's a week of rest,
Yeah, because and then tomorrow, I'm I got 1 leg day to go, and then there's a gym tomorrow. It's 4.5 hours. I started doing the math in my head. Do I do legs tomorrow? Because what about Saturday and then Sunday? I don't know what the schedule's going to be. But this gym's, I just want to sleep. What the
Well, the one thing you've promised me is that you're going to look into getting some different shoes. And that's because the walking thing freaks me out. And I don't say that to, nanny you or shame you into it, because I'm not about that either. But, I'm a firm believer that it all starts at the feet. And, you know what, we'll keep in touch because I want to see how you're doing with this. But
please. And then the feet, now my algorithm is full of foot and ankle things. And do you know the Foot Collective as a brand?
No.
I bought the program that I don't do.
Okay.
I really got to dial in and the shit I know I need to do. Posture check, footwork.
Yeah.
Not whatever. But maybe 3 years ago now, some idiot rolled my ankle, and I just kept working on it, and apparently it broke part of the arch in my right foot, and then the ankle was sprained, so I've been working on that 3 years.
Yeah.
But if I have a arch pad, and then I was talking about the orthotics, yes, but you want me to get dad shoes, I'm going to get dad shoes.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man, it's life-changing stuff, but at the same time, you know, at least my shoes don't totally look like dad shoes. You can get them in cool colors at least now, so...
But I am curious, like, you have the New Balances. They're notorious for that. But do you know about the Altas? Do you know about the...
I do. Dude, I've tried on every shoe that has been available to me. And when you find a good shoe that works for you, for running, for walking, and those can be different shoes, because they should be. Like, I've been married to this. This model itself has gone through a few changes and a few evolutions, but I've been married to this style of New Balance for probably 12 years because, and like I said, the sizes change every once in a while because your feet change, but for the most part, this is what I live in. And then I've got some trail runners that are totally different. I've got the walking shoes I told you about, stuff like that, but yeah, man, I'm all about the foot health and the impacts and really taking care of that because that's where it all starts.
I'm curious, if I have to make a decision, traveling on the road, I could bring one pair of shoes.
Yes.
I'm going with walking.
Yes.
Because I also feel like I can go to the gym and train, not barefoot, but...
Have you ever done the barefoot running thing? I don't advise it, but I know people that swear by it.
I do a decent amount of grounding when I can.
Yeah.
Definitely not running, but then sometimes I'll go outside barefoot with my flow rope and do my interpretive weirdo dance, like mobility. My workout used to be squats, deadlifts, bench, overhead, snatch, clean. Now I'm doing interpretive dancing with like ropes and shit. So
you know what though? Like, here's the thing: I've seen you go around barefoot quite a bit, and I was like, that's cool because as much as I'm a proponent of shoes, I still feel that they're foot prisons. Like, I don't like them, but the support factor is what I talk about. So,
and these puppies, I lost one at Sammy Pepper's. It's upsetting me.
What's he got here? He's reaching in the bag. This is descriptive audio at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. What is that?
Yoga toes.
Yoga toes.
Yeah, but it's only for my left. I lost the right one.
Okay, Google yoga toes, everybody. You'll see like this. Is it silicone or what is that?
Yeah, you just stick them in between and like they space your toes out. So
that's cool.
Oftentimes at home, wear these and barefooted. Let me ask you, patella or plantar fasciitis? What is it?
Plantar fasciitis.
Socks have kind of helped me out too.
Compression socks or?
Are they They're plantar. They must have compression, but they seem to be plantar specific.
Well, again, a plantar fasciitis can be triggered by a bunch of things, but, for me, example, like I used to get it all the time, and it runs right up to my butt, basically, right from my foot. But that was also because I was wearing the wrong shoes. That remember I told you these ones, that they push my foot outwards a bit. So because my feet weren't doing that, that was aggravating the plantar fasciitis. So there is probably some sort of sock mechanism that can help with that, and compression socks are always a good thing to have.
I feel good.
I tell every wrestler that they should have them because they're awesome.
Compression socks.
Yes.
For the boots, probably. I feel safe.
For after the boots. Yeah, after the workout, put your compressions on.
I would feel safe barefoot training on the road with plantar fasciitis socks. Oh, I will show you them later, but I got these dumbass, I have a ton of Yeezys that I don't wear because of my feet, but that one time, his website had this weird $20 sale, and he had, the big sock shoe. Do you remember that? I'll show you.
Vaguely.
It's hideous, but it's kind of comfortable. Yeah, I'm going to show you.
Okay. All right, well, this has been Footwear with EC3 here on McGuire on Wrestling, which, again, we appreciate you so much for just having the chat. But, when it comes down to you being out there, fans reaching out to you, I mean, you were a ton of fun on these two shows I was on. I love how you're basically, it's almost like watching those action movies now where the guy spells out the sequence of, here's what's going to happen. Your guy's going to run at me. I'm going to catch him in the back of the head with this. You're going to do this. And you're literally calling it on a microphone. You're telling me let's run a impromptu interview in the middle of the match, and then you almost tried to. I thought you were going to get it, honestly.
The tag match?
The tag was
I wanted it.
He tries to work a tag match that was not on the card tonight at all into what's going on, but it worked out either way. But I mean, how much for you is this having fun with it versus really still trying to... Obviously, when you're on TV, you're still being EC3. You're doing these storylines, everything else. But when you're on tours like this, how much of it is about that and how much isn't about that?
This is the first time I've had, like, since WWE live events, to have kind of the opportunity, but now I'm in a different spot, being veteran, top guy, world champion, motherfucker that I am, to work with, like, guys, like, coming up.
Yeah.
And when you're on the tour and, like, it's not TV context and you're kind of, like... You're not repeating the match, but you're having a similar kind of thing. This is really only fun for me if I'm creating in the moment. Mm-hmm. So having a couple things we know we're going to do, but then putting the kid on the spot with the interview today, or like another thing I like to really guide young talent into, like, I don't think they have enough fun doing this anymore. I think they're too worried about perceptions or the contract or media feedback, and they get a lot of, I don't want to say bad advice, but advice from people that haven't done a lot in where they want to go.
Right.
So working with like Chizzy Chad and
Chisel Chad Daniels, yeah.
I'm like, going to give you a very good match and effort, but you can work hard without having to hurt hard. And these matches don't designate going out there and having a work rate classic. And I even asked the fans, I'm like, do you guys want to see catch can wrestling, or do you want to see a good old fashioned brawl? And they always pick the brawl. Yeah. And I'm like, damn, because I kind of want to I kind of felt like grinding out some holds today and doing some
chain wrestling,
yeah, and some like up and over and like calling spots on the fly because that's fun to me. But also, guys don't have the opportunity that maybe I had to work with people that have done a decent amount. So I'm like, what do you want to work on? What can I help you with? Like, what do you need? And like one of the things, character. And like, okay, so he did not know that deal was coming today. And I didn't know until I got out there and felt the crowd and kind of the reaction. But having fun is imperative. And again, simple work doesn't mean it's not hard work. We worked really hard. And the match not being a 5-star 20-minute classic with false fits, it shouldn't be, because it's not the show, it's not the environment, it's not the place in the card for it.
Yeah.
But having fun is imperative. And when you are doing similar things every day, I like to switch it up, because monotony and robotics and not being present in the moment, this isn't fun. And if it's not fun, then every flat back bump hurts, every chop stings, every step you take with your busted up foot hurts more. So the fun makes it fun.
Yeah, you're not thinking about anything other than trying to get through it.
Yeah. And I think wrestling's missing more people. TV, different spots, laid out back ends, false finishes, sequences are great. And I'm not taking those away, but I think a lot is being lost in the fun of this and the emotion and the feeling for people that are actually wrestling, and for fans when it's too thought out and too contrived. And is it too clean? Like, so if young wrestlers are listening, don't be afraid to just go out there and do it and feel it and try stuff. Because especially on a show like this where there's no, if we mess up a power slam, like, who cares?
Yeah.
Really, it's not on TV.
You know, it's funny because I work with different wrestling companies that have different philosophies, right? I told you I work with the Dungeon Wrestling, and that's, you know, we're really trying to lean on that old school Calgary Heart style wrestling, which, again, half the Gaga stuff that we did here just wouldn't fly, right?
Would it not, though?
No, you know, it's funny. I don't know, because, to be honest, we haven't done a lot of it, and the times we have, it did not get over with that particular crowd.
I think then also, if I were to be in that position, feeling the crowd, I would probably figure out something else that might be character-based or fun. But if you
that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying the character stuff doesn't work. We have a guy that comes in and he's like literally a Halloween character, but it's just sometimes, it's hard to find those moments to have that levity. You know what I mean? With
the Heart style, though, too, like, big thing I'm huge on with the guys I train and holding myself to the standard, snap with fundamentals. So Chaz and I did some whatever. Interview, blah, blah, but even lock up, make sure that's good, all right? And running, we did a couple spots, and I'm like, not this bullshit indie, hold on, shoot off, like, get some acceleration going, like, throw me in that, go, boom, hit.
Yeah, you guys were bouncing, like, it was good, it was solid stuff.
And you give them, like, a bunch of, like, bursts, and then, bring it down.
Yeah.
Bursts, bring it down. So I think that would fly with the dungeon.
Oh, definitely. And that's what I mean. It's like, I'm not saying that you can't bring personality in, but they're definitely looking for that tight. They're looking for, there's no light, there's no space, you know what I mean? Like, so I even had conversation with guys that work our shows, right? I was like, everything looked great. Just take it from just a guy that just pays too much attention to this. And that's the advice I offer, is just always keep it tight, always keep it, believable.
Keep it tight, keep it believable. I like to physicality with purpose.
Yes.
And everything makes sense as much as it can. And I think a big thing people lack independently, even TV, transitions thrown away as opposed to putting the work into finding unique ways to get into the cool shit you want to do. Where I need this guy running off the ropes, so I'm gonna shoot him. And it's like, okay, rough. Or I'm punching this guy and I need to run. I'm gonna just run away from punching him. Why? You're beating him up. Why are you running away? How can we think of like little transitions or different ways to get momentum going?
How do you feel about standing and waiting for dives?
Depends how long. But, like, I'm a big into, if you're doing it, accelerate, like, the second it's going.
Right.
But, like, if you're going, oh, I knocked Chaz out of the ring, and I'm going to do my suicide tope, which I do all the time. Not all the time, but I do. Like, I got dives, whatever. But if I go, come on, baby, clap, get that clap going, and then hitting the ropes, and then going, hate it. But if I'm, bam, knock him out of the ring, like, be ready, because I'm coming right away. Because with that momentum of him taking him out of the ring, I'm bouncing right off the ropes, and I'm coming right there. And I think that, I believe that.
Yeah. This has been awesome, man. We've been going for 40 minutes already.
Really?
So, yeah, I know. It's been great. I really appreciate it. And for those of you listening, I hope you enjoyed this. We've posted this in its entirety. Of course, there's a clip on the radio show. But for those of you that are sitting and enjoying this conversation, please offer your feedback. Let us know what you're thinking of all this conversation. Now, I do want to
do it again.
Yeah, this is something that I feel comfortable asking you now because, like I said, even having Meltzer on the show and stuff like that, I told you I don't go for controversy, so this isn't me going for a clickbait thing. But I try, no, legit, dude. And if you don't want to answer it, please don't, okay? But there was a quote from you a while ago that said that you felt you were blackballed from wrestling.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering how much of that you actually feel and how much of that do you think is actually happening? Like,
did you see my retraction or my statement about it?
Well, and that's kind of what I wanted to elaborate on a little more here.
It was a total clickbait out of context.
Yes.
Based on the conversation we're having, you see how I converse.
Yes.
So it's like, yeah, it was stomping the thing.
Yeah.
Like, EC3 got just stomped by you. Like, if that was the headline.
Right.
I'm not blackballed. That's ridiculous.
Okay.
So, and EC3, Michael, I say a lot of wild things. So if we're going to hold me to account for every wild thing I've said, I once told a man I'm going to slap him so hard his father was going to die, which can't be possible because his dad was already dead. So like, and I hate the fact that it's like, that's the issue with this sometimes, and that's why I respect talking to you, because like, you formulate opinions and ask questions. Whoever reported that first off took something, and I'm very open. Would you care to elaborate? Yes, I would.
Yeah.
But they don't give that opportunity. And so if you don't see the minimal, like whatever I post in retort in your mind forever, EC3 thinks he's blackballed, or like these things carry over and have residual effects, not only on me, I don't care about me, but a lot of the things I'm doing with a lot of the people I'm working with or building up with Exodus, with other talents. And that trickle down is what, killed the idea of like CYN, which is now Exodus in a far better format. But people's careers that I was trying to launch got not only jeopardized, but some killed in the moment because I couldn't go through with what I wanted to do because of the nature of these things. So,
and now it's getting so bad too, because there are specific websites that I've called out before that will come up with the most BS headline that has nothing to do with anything. Like there was one actually while we were doing our show today, I think I was just scrolling through before we actually got going. And it was like crew had to rush to assist Booker T at an NXT production. And it sounds like, I'm thinking like Jerry Lawler heart attack sort of thing again,
like,
right? That's what you
okay.
You know what it is? Yeah, they had to fix his headset and they got caught on camera. But that's what I mean. Sports Kita, that's the one I can't stand the most. Is like
they were the one that,
yeah. And that's why I wanted to go there because, me framing the question that way gives you the opportunity, I feel, to say, yeah, this is total horse.
Yeah, and say, a couple thousand people listen to this. Oh, now I know he's not really black. It's not going to change the people who saw it and don't think about it, but if the name's brought up, oh yeah, he's blackballed, fucking sucks, man. And that's kind of what gave me the disconnect from even looking at feedback, whether positive, whether negative. It's always such a mess. And then I can't take the positive feedback and go, yeah, I'm great, or yeah, they get it. And then look at negative feedback and go, oh, they don't understand, or they're wrong, or they don't know. Mm-hmm. Because you can't take one without having the other. So it's not easier, but I'm freer to work on what I want to work on and the people I want to work on if I do not look at it than if it's weighing over my head, influencing decisions I would make even subconsciously. So like booking a show for Exodus and a finish or pushing a guy or something. Is it trickling into my subconscious, this thing that I saw this fan say about this thing? It's not worth the noise, or it's not worth the brain power if I'm trying to create for whatever, the talent, the fans, my own personal need.
Yeah, if you validate one thing and negate the other, then you're just putting your own bias in, and then what's the point then, right? You're basically just throwing yourself under the bus, right?
Yeah. Like one thing with the coming back with what we did with EY today, I had one objective in mind is I think the pile driver's a sweet move. He's been using the pile driver and taking people out with it. Mm-hmm. And my objective was, let's really magnify that the pile driver is a legitimate hold that can break people. And if that takes me out for a while and I come back, I came back from something significant. If I'm never seen again, it had damage that warranted the fact it is very dangerous. So what was the business of the match? Getting EY up to a level because where he's going, and then my little, make sure his finish is whole and has merit, and then when he uses that, maybe he's working Santana in a main event at a pay-per-view, I don't know, and he kicks out, now that's a really good false finish, or he wins with it, damn, that hold has been built. So is one of my mentions on the feedback going to be like, EC3 really went out of his way to establish a pile driver as a very legitimate hold? No, and they don't see that, and they don't need to see that, they just need to know that if he does that, it means something.
Chicks in America.
That's right. That's what it's all about, man. Damn right.
Man, this has been a pleasure. Please stay in touch. We'll get you on here in the next little while and follow up, and we'll talk shoes off the air sometime too, because I want to know how this is all going. But this has been a slice. Thanks for letting me room with you tonight as well. I promise we won't get too
I had night
too loud
terrors.
a party in here, so it'll all be good.
I have terrible night terrors.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so
Get ready. I like an adventure.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, buddy.
McGuire on Wrestling. Online and on the radio. You can hear extended versions of the show, bonus podcasts, and exclusive interviews. Just search and subscribe to Celebrate Wrestling. Always free, always about wrestling. CelebrateWrestling.com.